Now, John, where does the actual content come from?
Well, there's three ways we can get the content. It does come supplied with some. So if I go into these folders here, you can see that's what we supply you with for primary. You've got geography, history, literacy, numeracy and science. And for each of those, if I click on them, you'll see we're going to get 6 slides. So we give you a little taster of what you can do with the system. And you've got the same for secondary as well. So if I go into there, you've got the same, a range of subjects. And for each one of those, if I go in and click on it, then you're going to get displayed 6 slides on the screen. So it does come with some supplied content. You can buy further content from us as well though. We've spent a lot of time making banks of questions all related to the curriculum, and we sell those, all right, as CDs, and we send them out to you and you can import them into the system. Or the third way is, of course, you just create it yourself.
Okay, now you say that as though that's very simple.
Well, hopefully it is. We use PowerPoint to do that. So again, we're using something that we're hoping that people are going to be relatively familiar with. So I'm going to open up PowerPoint here, Microsoft PowerPoint. And of course, we've got a whole range of facilities that PowerPoint gives us now. Animation, inserting pictures, inserting movies, and all the things that we can do in PowerPoint. And what we want to do is just create a simple question here. So I've just opened it up. That's what I've got by default. What I want to do first of all is just insert a picture. So I'm going to go to Insert, Picture, from File. And I'm going to go onto my desktop and pick up a picture here, there, and there we go. So we've inserted a picture of a handset. You can see I can resize this and edit it and do whatever I want, move it around on the screen, so I'm happy where it is. And then I've actually got 2 text boxes here. So I'm going to put true or false as the title to my question. And then this is a picture of a handset. So that's going to be my question. Okay. Now all I've got to do now, I mean, I can go on and do other things to that if I wish to and fiddle around to my heart's
Really, your
content.
imagination can go wild.
It can, yeah, but in its simplest form, that's all I need to do. And I can now go to File and Save As, and I'll just put that on my desktop for now and say that's a true or false question and save it.
And then it's that easy to go in and pull it up when you're setting up the system.
That's right, yeah. What I can also do at this point is I can what we call map this question. So I've selected the question here, and you can see I've got an additional toolbar because ClassCom will need to know the format of the question and what the answer is going to be to the question. So I can do all that inside PowerPoint at this moment because we've actually developed our own plug-in toolbar, which is what we're going to use now. So once we've loaded this on, we get this set of boxes at the top. So the first thing it's asking me is what type of question have you just created? So I'm going to tell it it's a true or false question. And then it's going to say, right, okay, so what is the correct answer? So I'm going to say it's true. These other boxes would become operative if I was, say, doing a multiple choice question. It'd be saying how many choices and is it numbers or is it text?
So that's really idiot-proof, isn't it? It will only let you click on the box that's white and active.
Yeah, we've made it as simple as we possibly can. And then over here on the right-hand side in this box here, if I want any of this text to be included in any of the reports that ClassCom will generate for me, then I can simply copy by doing a right-click and copy, and I can paste that text into there, and then it knows what text from the slide to include in the report afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, so when I now click on Save again from there, it actually creates 2 files for me. I'll show you what they are on the desktop here. You can see there's my PowerPoint, which I've called true or false, and it's also created this other file which is called an XML file. We don't really need to know what that means. It just contains all the information that ClassCom requires to be able to interpret that question and know what to do with it. But it does that automatically. As you've seen, I didn't have to do anything other than click the Save button. So we've created our question there. So what we now do is go back into ClassCom, and we've got to first of all tell it where we want it to go. So I'm going to put it into this folder called My Stuff there, and I go to New here and New Activity. And it says, right, well, where is this new activity that you've just created? So I'm going to say, well, I've created it on my desktop. There it is, true or false. Open that up. So it says, right, that's what you've created, one question, and you've told me it's true or false, and you've told me what the answer is. If I want to change here the number of marks I'm going to allocate to that question, or any other detail, I can do it here. And if I'm fine with that, then I click on OK, and then it imports that into the system. New activity added successfully. There we go. So there's
Is there
my
a
question.
limit to how many questions you can run in one session?
No, you can create as many as you like. Obviously, it really depends on the size of your hard drive, and if you're importing graphics and movies, obviously it's going to take up more memory. But no, there's no restriction on that. We're not saying you can only produce a certain number.
And you wouldn't have to do them all at one time, I'm presuming, because of the system. You could do a few questions, go away, come back tomorrow, add a few more, and edit and build as you go.
Of course. If I decide that I want to make some changes to this now, then I simply double click on there and it goes back to PowerPoint and opens up again in PowerPoint and enables me to do any editing that I wish to inside here. And then of course I just click my save button again and everything will be automatically updated. I don't have to go back and do anything else. That XML file with all the information will automatically update it, and when I go back into ClassCom here, I don't have to re-import it or do anything like that. As long as I just go to another set of slides and come back and refresh it, then any changes I've just made will now instantly be put in place and away I go. So it's very easy to go and change a slide if you wish to. So I do all my editing and creation in PowerPoint outside of ClassCom and then map it and bring it across. Once it's in ClassCom, I can still map it if I wish to by going to settings and going to map activity. And here, if I've got the ability to change any of that information if I wish to, or I could have done that mapping once I brought it in if I wanted to. It's up to me. But because we've created that PowerPoint toolbar, we can actually do all the creation outside of ClassCom if that's what we want to be able to do.
So how would I go about setting up my own sort of student and marking files?
Right, one of the other tabs that we've got on the left-hand side here is the one that says Student, and if I click on that one, this goes into the student database. And all this information is going to just be stored and saved and set up on this machine. So it's not going to be shared with anybody else, it's all local and personalised to me. And you can see I've got three tabs at the top here, one that says Class, then I've got Master List where I've got all the students there in a master list that I can pull out into classes, and I've got another one that says Test there where I can actually import test data. Even though I might not have used the handsets, it might be a pencil and paper test, but I can still pull that data in as well. So I can pull everything into one place. So starting from the Class tab here, if I'm going to now create a new class and a new teacher, let's go to the Teacher tab first, arrow to the right, and you can see it opens up this menu that says Add a Teacher. So we're going to add a teacher in here. So you might like to put yourself in as a teacher.
Oh yes, go on then.
So if you hand over to you and you can put your own details in.
So we'll do. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. And
so it's very simple.
All we need is a name. We don't need all the rest of the details there. So.
There you go.
Okay. And if I now click the Save button on there, and now you're saved and you've given an identity of teacher number 4. So we'll close that down. If I drop down that list now, you'll see you're now in our teacher menu. So now I'm going to create a new class. So we go to Add Class and we're going to create a class and give our class a name.
Okay.
Okay, so we might call it Year 7 Maths class, for instance, and we're going to save that as a class. Sorry, we need to select a teacher. So there you are as a teacher. So we're going to import you and assign you to that particular class. Close. Okay. Now if we want to change the students that are in your class at the moment, so if we select that class again, Year 7 Maths with you as the teacher there, we need to go into the master list to pick up the students that are now going to go into your class. Now we could add a student individually, or we can simply go into any of these files by double clicking on them and changing the data that's in there.
Now that's quite an interesting layout because you've also got the ability to insert a picture, addresses, quite a few personal details here.
Yes, it's up to the school obviously whether or not they want to include that amount of detail in here. We're just giving them the possibility to do that if they wish to, but you don't by any means have to complete all of those fields. You just put as much as you want into there. And
it's personal to you, although this system that can be shared.
Yeah.
Actually, the information that's stored on each computer is individually to you, so people can't look in.
No. It's only on this particular machine here. The only thing that can be shared are the resources, because remember, we create those in PowerPoint and we created them outside of ClassCom and then pulled them in as a link. So they can be stored maybe on a shared drive on a network, so everybody can access the resources, but all the main database with all the student details on sit locally on a machine, and that's not shared with anybody else. That's personal to the teacher.